What's up, guys? Welcome back to Full Metal Media, and welcome back to another fun-filled episode of Full Metal 5, the show where five people of different walks of life come in and yell at each other until we somehow get a top five agrees on. Pretty accurate assessment of the show, but you say so myself. I'm the creator and host of the show, Chance Titan Ellison, here on Full Metal Media. And with me, well, let me tell you the topic of this week in honor of the release of A Wrinkle in Time, and of course the trailers for Christopher Robin and The Grinch, which came out earlier today. We are going to be talking about the top 5 movies based on a children's book. And of course, I am not alone here on this panel. I have a great mix of newcomer, and some vets of this show. First of all, he is the biggest Greta Gerwig, he's a big fan of Greta Gerwig and sweaters on the planet. Always has a nice craft beer and a cozy sweater at his side. He is the great Gonzo himself, Zach Ford. Zach, what's up?
I'm happy to be on my 6th time with my list of descriptors growing every time. We've got added G-Wig now. I think I need a new adjective to describe me. And yeah, it's G-Wig, not Gerwig. Let's get this right.
G-Wig. I will stop disrespecting the Academy Award nominated but not winning director, Greta Gerwig.
She won in my heart.
Up next, she did. She always was in your heart, Zach. Up next, we have a guy. He's the host and showrunner on Film Nerd TV and the Deputy League. He has seen like 50 movies his entire life, and he's here to talk about 7 today. It is Hunter the Hitman Chambliss. Hunter, what's up?
What's that percentage?
First off, fuck you, Chance. I've seen way more than 50 movies in my lifetime.
50.
I've seen 51.
65.
51. But thank you for having me on here tonight. It's gonna be so much fun, guys.
Of course. And also we have someone who would not stop pestering me until he got back on the show because he loves it so much. I think we saw him was not mistaken, it was top 5 football movies, and yeah, you know how that show went. He is the guy I kicked out of the Derby Trivia Team Tournament. He is Dan Skip Allen. Dan, what's up?
You didn't have to say that part. You did not have to say that last part. That was not called for. Thanks for having me back, though, Chance. Appreciate it. I love this kind of a bantering back and forth list type of show. I really did love those 2 shows I was on. I really had a kick. Got a lot of enjoyment out of that.
Hey, we love having you on, buddy, and this is the only chance I get to roast. This is the new thing I'm doing. I'm gonna roast my panelists as soon as I'm on. And finally, you know him, you love him, unless you lost Movie Battleground, the match where he was the judge. He is a host and admin over on Movie Battleground. He is Aaron Connell. Aaron, what's up?
What's up? First off, it's really cool to be on here for the first time. I wanted to do this for a little while, so the fact that I'm here tonight is really fun. Second off, about half this panel does have reason to hate me. Technically, 75%. I was the host of that match in which Chance kicked Dan out of the team tournament. He doesn't like that I said that. I don't actually have much to add tonight. My job is to be an asshole and remind people why you don't like me as a judge of Movie Battleground, so let's do it. And by the way, I'm going to talk about 15% of Hunter's filmography.
Let's have fun, guys. All right, so the way this works is we curate a top 5 list right here, live. Well, not live because it's a rebroadcast, but right here, live for you people. All right, so how this works is we have 3 different selection processes. The first one is the nominations round. What we're each going to do is we're going to go around and nominate a movie based on a children's book. As preface to this match, has to be based on a children's book. And Hunter, before you bust something out that's stupid, comic books do not count as children's books. We want literature, sir. Literature. All right.
Oh, damn it.
And in order for me to make top 7...
Dude, you just took like 10 of his movies.
Oh,
yeah,
crap.
no,
Sorry, Hunter.
my entire list. It's all gone.
Well, yeah, find something else. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to each go around and nominate movies until we get a top 7, and then we go from there. In order for me to make top 7, it has to get 3/5 majority votes. So I will start. I will go first with a movie that was brought up on our last episode, and it's got to be brought up again. It is The Wizard of Oz. The Wizard of Oz, one of the great cinematic classics of all time. It holds up so much back to the fact it was made in 1939. You got the great colors, the great scheme, the great set design, and great lead performance from Judy Garland before she got all cracked out and crazy. And it's just it's just a great goddamn movie, and I think it absolutely needs to be in the top 7. So I'm gonna start with Aaron. Aaron, does Wizard of Oz make top 7?
Here's the fun one. I'm gonna say no. I feel like I'm the only one that's gonna say. I feel like I'm the only one that's gonna say no, and I can respect. I can respect its place in the top 7 or top 5 if it does end up there. It's just for me personally, the movie doesn't hold up the way that it does for a lot of other people. And I've seen the movie multiple times throughout my life. It just doesn't hold up the same for me. I actually, not to plug my own show, but I actually did in one of my own matches argue against Wizard of Oz being overrated. And I just, for me, I can respect the filmmaking and I can respect what it did for filmmaking. And if it does end up in the top 7 or top 5, I can completely understand and respect that. It's just for me on a personal level, it doesn't hold up the same way that a lot of other movies from older time periods do. So I'm going to give it a no.
Well, you got to taste what we're going to get all night, folks. So that's 1 no for Wizard of Oz, surprisingly. I'm going to go to Hunter next. Hunter, have you seen this movie and what do you think about it?
I have seen this movie. I grew up with this movie. My mom loves this movie. It's getting a yes from me. This actually made my list, and it's an all-time classic, and it keeps getting better every time I go back and watch it, which I watch it once a year, and, you know, just the heart, everything about that movie is so fun. So, yeah, it's a yes for me.
All right, before we continue, let's all give a round of applause for Hunter, who saw a movie from the 1930s, guys. Yay! All right, and I'm gonna go to Zach next. Zach, does Wizards of Oz make top 7?
So I wasn't going to say it this week because I didn't want to deal with Jeremy and Nazario shit again. Okay, because they were like, "Oh, it's not a children's book; it's an adult book. Your thing's going to count the kid's book."
No, it's a kid's book. I read it in elementary.
Oh no, it is. But Jeremy will find a way to say it's not. Don't worry. Just like it's not a remake. I promised I wasn't gonna yell at the audience to myself today, and that promise lasted 5 minutes into the show.
Good,
but thank you. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely yes. It's our number 1 last week. It probably should be our number 1 this week. It's one of the best films of all time. It didn't create the fantasy genre, but it really kind of set the tone for what films can do within that genre. It elevated where the worlds that they can take you to. So it's a yes for me.
Right on, right on. All right, so with that, The Wizard of Oz is the very first movie to make it on our top 7. Dan, what would you say about Wizard of Oz? You both didn't count, but, you know, say your piece, buddy.
I would have voted yes for The Wizard of Oz. I mean, I've seen I've probably seen it 20 or 30 times over my childhood and adulthood. I just think it has some amazing acting and it's amazing visuals, and it's just such a beautiful movie, and the songs, and it's such an uplifting movie. It's a great movie for all the family, the children, the adults, the aunts, the uncles, the grandparents. It's a wonderful movie based on a great book, and yeah, I definitely would have had The Wizard of Oz on mine if I just knew one of you guys was going to bring it up. So I'm glad I didn't have to bring it up.
I've already fulfilled the asshole part of the night.
All right, so since I have the camera on Dan and his vote didn't count last time, I'm going to go to Zach next. No, I'm kidding. Dan. Yeah, buddy.
I'll tell you what. When this topic was brought up to me, I was like, oh man, I could talk about a lot of great films that I really enjoyed, and a film that I absolutely loved. The sequels weren't that good, but the first one had, you had Liam Neeson as the voice of Aslan, and you have Tilda Swinton, and you have James McAvoy as Tumnus, Mr. Tumnus. I mean, The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, The Witch, and the Wardrobe. I'll tell you what, I absolutely love this movie. It was a beautiful movie when it came out. It made a lot of money, and it's based on C.S. Lewis classic. I mean, this is what children's books made into movies should be. This great, and this is a great movie. Like I said, the sequels weren't as good, but I'd be shocked if you guys don't vote this on.
Okay. So the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is on the table. I'm gonna go to Actually, I'm gonna go first. I actually just watched it the other day for a second time. I don't know why I had the urge to watch it for some reason. And I was surprised how well it held up, and I'm going to make a bold statement right here. I think, on a pure technical level, just technically, I think it's on par with Lord of the Rings. From the costume design, from the set work to the cinematography to the battles to the direction, I think it's just as good as Lord of the Rings. The problem is the main character dependencies are kind of bland or annoying. Peter, the older kid, he is especially bland. But in all fairness, I kind of had that argument with Aragorn in the third Lord of the Rings movie. But I don't like it's kind of weird because like this is kind of Disney's answer to Lord of the Rings because they couldn't get the rights to Lord of the Rings, so they had to get the rights to his best friend's book, C.S. Lewis's Chronicles of Narnia, and yeah, I think as far as book to movie adaptation, I think this one did a really good job, and I'm gonna say yes. So let's go to Zach first. Zach, the Chronicles of Narnia, Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
I'm actually a huge fan of the whole series. I think they're all fun. I think Prince Caspian is a really fun war movie, and Don Cheddar.
Yeah, Caspian is really underrated.
Yeah, it's really underrated, and I enjoy Don Cheddar for what it is too. I know no one else does, but I mean, it also I think it has a little bit of nostalgia attached to it because it came out when I was like 13, 14. It was right in my element, a book everyone grew up with, which is all these are going to have that nostalgia factor. But it's a really well executed version of this, and I actually like it better than the book because I have trouble reading more and reading action, but it's something that works well cinematically. However, it is in my honorable mentions, but I have a top 7, if not a 14, that I can't say no against those top 14. So I am a no for Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. It's too heavy of a list.
All right, that's fair. All right. I'm going to go to Hunter next. Hunter, Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Does it make top 7?
I had it on my list at number 9. It's a great horror movie for kids, you know, and also it's got a lot of stuff in there for adults too. You know, you can really enjoy the movie. It's getting a yes for me. Kind of, but not as violent as some movies for kids. But so yeah, it's a yes for me.
Oi, oi.
Wait, yes or no?
Yes, he said yes.
He said yes.
Yeah.
Oh, because he said it had a number 9. That's why I got confused. So.
You got good taste, Hunter.
All right. Well, usually. All right, so that's it. Chronicles of Narnia makes top 7. Aaron, what would you say had come to you?
I would have said yeah. Because here's something you guys may not know if you don't know anything about my generation. Zach, you're probably used to this. Most of us don't read. It's just not something we do. I was one of the kids that read, though, and I did read this book and really enjoyed it. And I think as an adaptation, the movie works. And I think as a movie, it does work. The sequels do kind of trail off a little bit, although they are enjoyable for what they are. But the first movie on its own, yeah, it's definitely good enough to be in a top 7.
All right, we are going to you next, Aaron. So what do you want to throw up for top 7?
All right, I am going to put up Paddington. This was a movie that was released in 2014. I'm pitching the original because it's the first one that came first, but the sequel is currently the highest rated movie or one of the highest rated movies ever on Rotten Tomatoes, and the first one is on the same level as it. It's a really good voice performance from Ben Whishaw as Paddington, and it's just this really cute, kid-friendly animated movie that adults and older people can enjoy as well. And I think when we're talking about adaptations of kids' stories, this is like, obviously you have stuff like Narnia, which is a little more older directed, but when you're talking about straight like 5, 6, 7-year-old kids, this is what you're thinking about. So I'm going to put up Paddington.
All right, so the first Paddington is up for on the table. I'm going to go to Dan first. Dan, Paddington doesn't make top 7.
You know what? I mean, everything Aaron said. I mean, I agree with what Aaron said, and I thought, originally it was supposed to be who was the voice that they originally? Colin Firth was originally.
Colin Firth, yes,
was cast as the voice, and the director's like, I don't think it's gonna work in the film, and they got Ben Whishaw. I'm like, wow, what a good choice. And Ben Whishaw had been making some really good choices in his career. But I'll be honest with you, I have a bunch of others that I would prefer to be on this list, and I take nothing away from Paddington. I loved that film, and I love the sequel. The sequel might even be better than the first one. I love the sequel, but I'm gonna have to say no for Paddington.
All right, I'm gonna go next. And when I saw the trailer for the first Paddington for the very first time back in 2014, I thought this looks like garbage. This is gonna suck. And it's coming out in January. There's no fucking way it's gonna be good. And then it came out, and I was a little tempted to let a bear rip out my tongue for saying such ill words against Paddington because the movie's fantastic. Like it's charming, it's nice, it's good-hearted. Got a lot of great performances. Great performance by Nicole Kidman and Ben Whishaw as Paddington. It was also a great commentary on the polite rudeness of British society, which I thought was really amazing. That being said, I'm saying no because I think the sequel's better. That's even fucking possible. Like, I think the sequel did it better for that reason. If we're going to get a Paddington movie, I think it should be Paddington 2. And I'm going to say no for Paddington. I'm going to go to Zach next. Zach, Paddington doesn't make top 7.
Yes, I love the series. Paul King is just a fantastic director. I think he has so much imagination and creativity that he executes so perfectly on the screen. He's really the Wes Anderson of kids' movies, and that's why we want him to stay in. Is bring this
that's why you like him so much.
Yeah, that's exactly why I like him so much. By the way, Wes Anderson might be brought up later. Anyways,
I know where you're going with this.
There's only one
I
movie.
want Paul King to like stay in this territory of kids' movies because I feel like there's an innocence and an imagination that we're not getting in today's family films. But as I said, Paddington 2 will is my first thing I gave a 10 in 2 years to. It will probably be my number 1 at the end of the year. Paddington 2 is like right up my alley, speaks to my heart. It ended with a teardrop. Paddington 1, I rewatched it. I liked it better the second time, but it just doesn't elevate to that status. My top 7 is like classic status. They're some of my favorite movies, top 50, and Paddington's not quite up there. So, no.
I've never seen it.
You picked the wrong one.
Would you say?
Yeah, you picked the wrong. I think if you said Paddington 2, that would have gotten a response. But as you said Paddington, and that settles it. Paddington does not make top 7. Hunter, what would you say about Paddington?
Go see it if you get a chance. It's fantastic, Aaron.
Yeah,
Hunter has Hunter. What would you say about Paddington?
I would have said no. I watched it once and really enjoyed it. It's a really, really great, fun movie. But like with Dan, I feel like there's a lot more that are on my list that should be in at least the top 7. So, and I haven't seen the sequel yet. I'm gonna see here pretty soon.
All right, the sequel's amazing. I'm gonna go to you next, Hunter. Hunter, what do you want to throw up for top 7? I have a feeling, but just go ahead anyways.
Okay. This one is one of my favorite childhood movies. I watch it a lot. It's pure imagination. I'm going Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
I was wrong. I did not think this is where you're gonna go.
Everything from the imagination, from the fun, from the humor, from the straight up psychotic. This movie just speaks to me in a way. It came out way before my time, but as I was a kid, I used to watch this all the time with my mom and my dad. It's a great family movie. It's a great movie in general. So I'm putting up Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
All right. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. The original Gene Wilder Willy Wonka, not the Tim Burton, Johnny Depp Factory of Weirdness.
That one's
All right. I'm going to go to Zachary, who just said Willy Wonka's bullshit. So go ahead, buddy.
I said Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is bullshit. Really,
Lies.
Really, Wonka has inspired how I live my life. Every day I wake up and say, WWWD. What would Willy Wonka do?
So many W's.
Sounds like a website.
I mean, I'm retiring from teaching in 2 years and opening up my chocolate factory. He sounds a little creepy. But for real, like Roald Dahl was my childhood. We said like it's hard to get kids to read, but Roald Dahl was my gateway drug to reading. It was the one thing other than like Garfield comic books I can really get caught up in that imagination. Really inspired me to want to be a writer. Like at high school reports, writing like bullshit, goofy kids lit and turn them in for serious grades as a 16-year-old. because I just feel like Raw Dog gets me, and Willy Wonka is one of his best books. And the movie, which even though Raw Dog is not a fan of it and it's not supposed to be seen as very accurate, I think it's a perfect execution of his weirdness and humor, and you could not put anyone better than Gene Wilder within the Raw Doll world. And I think Gene Wilder is one of the greatest comic actors of all time, without doubt, and that's one of his best performances. So I am really happy you saved me a pick, Hunter, because that was probably what I was going to say. So yes, for sure, yes.
Okay. First of all, on Roald Dahl's judgment on the accuracy of the movie, we saw what the accurate version looks like, and it was not good.
No, it was not.
I'm gonna go to Aaron next. Aaron, Willy Wonka Chocolate Factory is make top 7.
Yeah, it's a really, really fun, entertaining movie, and I think what it does really well is it does bring those weirder, darker elements that some kids' films, especially at the time, didn't bring, and it introduces them, and it does them really well. And Gene Wilder is obviously amazing as Willy Wonka, even more so when you compare him to the Johnny Depp performance that was Michael Jackson in a pink suit. Yeah, it was a really, really well-made movie. Definitely deserves to be on the list.
Okay, so that settles it. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory makes top 7. Good job, Hunter. You picked something good for once. All right. So, all right. So, my vote didn't count, and I would give this a resounding yes. I attribute my love of candy to this movie. I think this beyond that, it's the idea of like pure fantasy, pure imagination. Plus, you have the excellent portrayal of Willy Wonka by Gene Wilder. When I read the book, that's exactly what I thought the character would be like. Not the stupid Michael Jackson purple suit dentist. So, I hate that movie so much.
It might have been better with actually Michael Jackson then.
Yeah,
No,
that would be more interesting.
Wasn't that around the time he was being prosecuted?
Oh no, okay, we're not gonna touch that. Dan, before we get into more couple talk, what would you have said about Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
I saw it as a kid many times, and like you said, Zach and Hunter, Gene Wilder, one of my favorite actors growing up as a kid. The guy he just oozed family and funny, and he's so great in so many different kinds of roles. I definitely was gonna pick it later on in my list. So Hunter, you saved me from picking it, and I know a very famous Adam that we all know is very happy right now that this film got chosen.
My good friend Andy Adam Adams is cheering in his seat right now. And we are going to go to Zach. You are the last one of us who have not pitched the movie yet, so you get to go next.
Yeah, I'm not very happy about being last. As your official co-host, I announced it right now.
It's official now? Every episode?
This is a little bit disrespectful. I am a 6-timer. It's a little bit disrespectful.
That is true. You're probably the only most frequent non-admin member, so that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I think I deserve it because of my dimples. Okay, continuing.
That is true.
I've already pretty much forecasted what my pick was going to be. It's one of my top 5 movies of all time. Currently about to rewatch it by tonight because I'm trying to go through all of my Wes Anderson movies before the next stop motion of Dogs. One of my favorite books. I talked about Raw Dog. One of my favorite books growing up. Something I return to often, even though it has pretty much very little to do with the movie. Because Wes Anderson made his own as Fantastic Mr. Fox. It's just so beautifully crafted. I'm watching it on Blu-ray for the first time, and you can just really feel the depth of these creations. And this visually, I think, is a stunning piece of stop motion and one of the most stunning. And the fact that he was able to transplant his Wes Anderson style into this story without a pause, it just comes off so naturally, is amazing. It's one of the funniest movies to me ever. Every line is hilarious. It's co-wrote by one of my favorite writers, Noah Baumbach, who you can see there's a little bit of bluntness in the emotions that you can see his touch to it that I think once again works with it. It's technically is a kid's movie, but it's probably works better for adults because of its dry humor, but it is based on a children's book. So Fantastic Mr. Fox is my pick.
Okay, putting Willy Wonka on the list pretty much shows us that we're throwing accuracy out the window. So most accurate is not going to guarantee a spot on the list. Keep that in mind. Excuse me. I'm going to go to Dan next, Dan first. Dan, Fantastic Mr. Fox doesn't make top 7.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. You saved me a pick, Zach, because I was going to pick that. Not the next pick, but the next pick after that. If I had a third pick, so you saved me a pick. I'm glad you picked the Fantastic Mr. Fox. I absolutely love this movie. I'm a big fan of Wes Anderson, and this is it won an Oscar for Best Picture. I mean Best Animated Feature, but it was good enough to win.
I think it lost.
It didn't win. It lost.
No, it won the
I'm
best.
sure it lost to something in Pixar.
No, it won that year.
It did not win.
I'll
Best
fact
animated
check it
feature.
real fast. I'm gonna fact check it.
Fact check that. I'm pretty sure it lost, but keep going. Is that a yes for you?
But it's got, look at the cast: George Clooney, Meryl Streep, Jason Schwartzman, Bill Murray, Owen Wilson. I mean, it's got a phenomenal cast. And it's ridiculous what a good movie it is. I mean, it's just you don't get to see this kind of animation that often either. So it's kind of cool the animation style that they use. And that's why I really love the Fantastic Mr. Fox. So yeah, it's definitely yes for me.
Fact check. What year did that come out?
I just looked it up. It was nominated for 2 Academy Awards, Best Animated Feature and Best Original Score. It lost both to Up.
Oh, really?
That's right. Same year's Up.
Never mind then.
Sorry
about that.
Either way, it's still against the Dan. Aaron, Fantastic Mr. Fox. Maybe.
Give me 1 minute.
All right, we're gonna skip to Hunter first. Then Fantastic Mr. Fox doesn't make top 7.
I'm gonna say no. I watched it. I think I've seen it once when I was kind of young.
Jesus Christ, it was like 5 years ago.
I know, right? It was a good movie, but I have one on my list that I feel is a better stop motion. But for me, I'm gonna say no.
Ooh, okay.
I say
now
no.
I'm gonna go back to Aaron.
Come on, man.
I'm actually gonna have to abstain. I haven't seen the movie, so I can't properly vote without having seen it.
Oh wow.
Oh, so
someone has seen the movie.
Chance, you gotta do better background checks of your guests.
I'm sorry. Okay, I don't have a way to check the entire viewing history of one of my co-hosts.
No,
I told you I wasn't going to bring anything to this.
Not co-host. Co-host was a poor choice award, and then panelists. I do not have time to check the viewing history of my entire panel.
Zach, I'm replacing you. I'm sorry.
Okay. This is tough because it is a great movie. I do think one of the best stop-motion animated movies we've gotten this century. I'll go as far as to say. It's hard, and I do love Wes Anderson. I do love the movie, but I'm gonna have to give it a no. I'm sorry, I gotta give it a no.
Last time I talked to you. Goodbye, bud.
Bye, Zach. But I was just gonna bring you on as co-host. Don't leave now.
I tried for you, buddy. I'm glad you picked it.
Sorry. I do love the movie. I do think it's very good. I do think there are other ones that are more worthy of the list.
Friday night.
Means we are back to me. This is. I have 2 choices. One that's kind of a personal choice. One that's kind of a no shit kind of choice. I'm gonna go with personal choice because I gotta throw some love to my homeboy, my day one. We just saw a trailer for a new movie starring the same character this week. I gotta throw some love to my homie, the homie Pooh Bear, and I gotta nominate the 70s. I'm not sure what year, 1970. I want to say 6 or 8. I can't.
I'll fact check.
Thank you. But the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. I mean, it's just a sweet animated Winnie the Pooh movie, and it's very accurate to A.A. Milne's
77
original source. 77. I was in the middle. 77. Winnie the Pooh. It was so accurate, so just a great portrayal of these great characters. It works on a kind of great mental health for children because in the way that War of the Wild Things represents different aspects of children's psyche. So does this, it's a different way, but it's the same kind of concepts. Has great characters, a great main character, Christopher Robin. It really holds up if you're, and I think it's still a relevant kids movie because like I was spoiler, I was not around in 1977. I did not see it when it came out. I had to discover it later on VHS. And I still love this movie. Plus, it had an elephant scene, which was one of the biggest "what the fuck is happening" moments in kids' movies of all time. So, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh is my first combination. I'm gonna go to my co-host Zach next. Zach does The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh make top 7?
I mean, every time you say no to me, I have like ODD, and I just want to respond to say no. So I can't do it. You can't do it.
Exactly right.
But Winnie the Pooh was my next choice. Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Another one that's one of my top 10 movies of all time. I think it's one of the best written movies of all time. I think the screenplay is so smart. The dialogue is so smart. It speaks to you philosophically. You had me really worried. I thought this was going to be Paddington all over again. You're going to say Winnie the Pooh 2011, which I love, but would have been the wrong choice.
Yeah, the Winnie the Pooh 2011 is great. More people need to see that one. I
think it's a perfect movie to introduce someone at a young age and now just like stick with them and really kind of guide them through how like to live a respectful life. I think Winnie the Pooh is just a great philosopher of our times.
Yes, he is.
So yeah, he is. So and my mom actually read a Winnie the Pooh speech at my wedding. That was her speech. It was a little funny hearing her say Pooh repeatedly, but it was really touching otherwise. And so I am a yes.
The great philosophers of human history: Aristotle, Kant, Winnie the Pooh.
And Kermit.
I'm gonna go to Kermit. I'm gonna go through Hunter next. Hunter, Winnie the Pooh doesn't make The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh doesn't make top 7.
I haven't seen it.
God damn it, Hunter!
Well,
all right.
Just say yes.
Next. Dan, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh doesn't make top 7.
I'm gonna have to say no. I saw it. I've seen it a bunch of times. I just think there's better movies that I want to talk about that I think deserve to be on this list more than the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. I'm sorry. I apologize, guys, but no, doesn't make the list of mine.
Bite your tongue, sir. Bite your tongue. He died for your sin. All right, and we're gonna go to Aaron next. Aaron. You were deciding vote.
As funny an image as that is to say Winnie the Pooh died for our sins, I'm gonna say yes on this one. This is a really amazing animated film. I think it's probably the best out of all the Winnie the Pooh adaptations, and it's just such an entertaining movie. It knows what it wants to be, and it does it successfully. I think it is one of the best kids' films.
All right. Winnie the Pooh did not die. Winnie the Pooh did not die. He did not die for our sin, but if he did, it was not in vain because he makes top 7.
Winnie the Pooh keeps us from sinning.
Yes, he does, because there's anyone we're going to listen to, it's a bear who has a massive addiction to honey. Keep that in mind, kids. All right, we're going to go to Dan next. Dan.
All right, I'm just writing this down here. Sorry.
That's fine.
I have a film that was just mentioned by somebody. It was ironic that person just mentioned the film that I was just going to talk to. This is a film based on a book that's probably maybe, I don't know, 40 pages long. And I read it a bunch of times. I think maybe 40, 42 pages long. It was one of those big books, long books, and it was drawn, and it had these interesting characters. And I'm like, oh my God, I could not believe it when I heard they were going to turn this into a movie. I was like, please. They really did an interesting thing. Have the faces of the characters animated while the actors actually wore suits. So you have the faces that are kind of alive and they're moving around, and then the suits, the people are in the suits, and I was like, how the heck are they going to make that work? Wow, did they make it work? And I'll tell you what, I think it was an amazing film, and I love this book. I read it over and over and over as a little kid. It's called Where the Wild Things Are.
Man, I had no idea.
I don't know the movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say I had no clue where that was going.
I had no idea what you were talking. I thought you were going. But Ninja Turtles for a second. All right, so where the wild things
Chance,
are.
you just mentioned it, man.
Oh, boy.
How can you not remember that?
Oh, I did. That's right. Okay. So yeah, despite the fact that, despite that long-winded intro, where the wild things are is up for voting next. So, Aaron, you were deciding about last time, so I'm going to go to you first.
I'm gonna say yes. I've only seen the movie once. But when I watched it, I had a lot of fun with it. It is a really well-made movie by Spike Jonze, and I think it does a really good job of adapting a book that is shorter into a full-length movie. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the list.
I'm gonna go to. He's got his hands in his face, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to Zach next. Zach.
Oh, that
Where the
was
wild
my
things
fire
are.
look.
Top 7.
No, so I started to get really unhappy with all of you. I thought this was about to go downhill once Fantastic Mr. Fox didn't make it, and just looking at your faces made me angry. But you're saving it because Where the Wild Things Are in my top 7. Once again, another one in my top 50. The fact that you found it a fun movie kind of concerns me because to me it's like an emotionally devastating movie. It hit me.
Well,
that
war scene is pretty fun.
I saw it when I was a kid. Big creatures.
I'm happy you said yes. Anyways, there's like sand fights, yeah, but it like really hits deep in my soul. Probably only compared to The Squid and the Whale. Those two movies I feel like have understood my childhood more than anyone else. Spike Jonze has been hiding around in my heart and getting all my secrets, and I didn't actually like it the first time because I thought it was a little melodramatic, and watching it the second time is really able to find its groove and find what it's going for. And just, I don't think any movie has elevated on a second watch as much as that. So if anyone doesn't like it the first time, I recommend a second one to really just kind of get where it was going for. So I am definitely a yes.
All right, that does it. Where the Wild Things Are makes top 7. I think I think I would give it. I think Where the Wild Things Are is massively underrated. One of the most underrated movies in the past, like 10 years. When did that come out? 2007, 2006,
2009.
Yeah.
2009. So yeah, 10 years. But yeah, like Where the Wild Things Are, like such, like he has a very realistic character, very great like vocal and like body performances. From you got James Gandolfini, you got Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
weird. And they're all wearing suits.
Catherine
I
O'Hara.
don't know if they're actually suits or they're hand CGI, but either way, it looks fantastic. And I'm surprised that at page now a book that's like this big is that it ended up being that good and being so true to what the book was supposed to be. So yeah, I would have given it a yes as well. Hunter, what would you have said? Hunter.
Oh, sorry. This is where I'm gonna be the asshole. I saw it once, didn't like it.
Yeah, man.
So I would have gave it a no, but
Watch it again.
It's also one of the best trailers of all time. That trailer is kick-ass.
That trailer's amazing. That trailer is Well, like,
And
if you ever watch the movie,
Catherine Keener looks like my mom.
Just go watch the trailer. No, watch the movie, but watch the trailer.
Watch the trailer. Listen to Arcade Fire albums.
Oh, so we're giving that forward way of life. All right. Anyway, Aaron, we're back to you, buddy.
Okay, I'm gonna go with a movie that is based on a book that I read when I was in elementary school, and I really enjoyed the book. And the movie does have a lot of differences from the book, but I do think it kind of captures what the book was going for, but presents it in a different way that's actually in many ways more enjoyable than the book. I'm going with How to Train Your Dragon. The book itself is really focused more on like, it's weird to say, but it's almost kind of like the science of how the dragons work, and it's really more technical on that end, whereas the movie kind of touches on that, but brings more this emotional centerpiece storyline of Hiccup, played by Jay Baruchel, and his father, played by Gerard Butler. And it really does a good job of creating, out of this, what is a good book, unless it's a very bare-bones story, it creates this really entertaining movie.
All right, so How to Train Your Dragon on the table. I'm gonna go to Hunter. Didn't count last time. Hunter, How to Train Your Dragon doesn't make top 7.
Ooh, this one is hard because I completely forgot it was based on a book. Thing is, we're at our 5. We have 2 more. See, this one's very hard. I'm gonna give it a no. It's a very great movie. It's, beautifully done, beautifully animated. But again, I've got a lot more on my list, and a few of them that I think should be in top 7. That it's a no for me. But if it gets on the list, I'm not gonna have any problems with it.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I don't really want to give Aaron a lot of credit, but I'm giving him a lot of credit. He has chosen 2 great films. I mean, one of the few films in the last decade that Gerard Butler is actually good in. It's like the guy's career has gone into the toilet. I don't know what the heck is going on, but I'm so sorry, Aaron. Once again, I'm gonna say the same thing that Hunters. We only got 2 slots left, and I just wasn't thinking that How to Train Your Dragon was going to make the list, even though I was prepared that someone might mention it. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. I'm going to say no.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now entered the part of the show where we all cast a bunch of spite votes. And we are going to also, no disrespect to Gerard Butler, and it's fair. In the movies he's in that are bad, he's not the problem, except Geostorm. Why would you cast Gerard Butler? We start casting him as an American. All right. Zach, How to Train Your Dragon. How to Train Your Dragon doesn't make top 7.
I'm sorry I'm like in a sexy pose with my invisible my arm around it, but I don't know what I'm doing. So it's getting late in the show, guys. That's what happens. You picked the right one this time, Aaron. He can't hear me, but that's why I'm only giving compliments while he is not on screen. I picked the right one because it's better than 2. And it was on my short list, but as we get to this point, I often think, does it have a chance compared to what's in of making a top 5? And I just really don't think there's a chance I can outcompete any of these. So there's no point. I'd rather wait to get a say on a couple more movies. So I am a no.
He got pissed and went away.
Well, the audience didn't know that until you just said that, Hunter. But yeah, we just lost Aaron, but she'll be back. But to me, so How to Train Your Dragon does not make top 7, first of all. Second of all, yeah, I think it would have, for me, come down to a no. Not that I don't think it's a good movie. I think it's a very good movie. Very good is a little. I think it's a great movie. I think it's absolutely freaking fantastic. It's really unfortunate that it came out the same year as the best animated sequel of all time, one of the best animated movies of all time, Toy Story 3. Suck it, Robert Parker. That movie's awesome. But yeah, I think it kind of gets lost in the shuffle and kind of forgotten at some points, even though it really should, because it is a great movie. But in that case, How to Train Your Dragon does not make top 7, and I'm gonna go to Hunter next. Hunter, what is your next nomination?
It's a tie between 2, but I'm going with one that really sparked my interest as a kid because it took all of these great animated properties and brought them together, and that's Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Is that based on a book?
Oh my! It is. It's from the book Who Censored Roger Rabbit.
Okay, keep going.
I absolutely love this movie. Bob Hoskins put on a great performance before Super Mario Brothers hit, and then all that shit. You take all of these great cartoon characters, you put them in one movie, and just the fact that it's so out there. It takes risk. It's full of action, comedy, adventure. So that's why, for me, it has to at least make top 7.
Okay, first of all, I gotta say, I'm questioning the validity of Who Censored Roger Rabbit as a children's book, but whatever. It's being nominated. Who Framed Roger Rabbit is on the table. I'm gonna go to Zach first. My co-host Zach first this time. Zach.
Yo, sorry, I have some people to talk to, places to be. Who Framed Roger Rabbit is something I haven't seen in a long time, so it's hard for me to put a rational opinion on it. But I think the fact that I haven't returned to it means it never really stuck with me when I saw it as a kid in the first place. I was busy. I wasn't talking to people, guys. I lied. I was just trying to see how much of a children's book this was and whether it was for older ages. Just checking up on that. Did not find it.
Okay, well, I'll come back to you when we're done with this nomination, and you can
I'm a
let us
no.
know. Okay. Well, you can your research on Roger Rabbit and tell us how much of a children's book that is, and we'll come back to you when we're done with this. All right, Dan, Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Does it make top 10?
I'll tell you, I wasn't prepared for Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I didn't even realize. I mean, I prepared for the show, and so I did not know this was a based on a children's book. Like I said, I prepared for the show, so I was not prepared for this, and so in my mind, it wouldn't make the list for me because I wasn't ready for this, and I have other ones that I want to see make this list, and I have a feeling Zach and Chance and these guys might want to get a couple others on here. So unfortunately, Hunter, I hate to do it to you. I love the movie, by the way. I think the movie's phenomenal, but I'm gonna have to say no on that one.
That was my guilty pleasure pick of the day, though. So.
Absolutely, positively. All right, and we're gonna go to Aaron next. Aaron, Who Framed Roger Rabbit doesn't make top 7.
Unlike it seems like everybody else, I actually was aware that this was based on a book. I do really, really love the movie. Just so you guys know, the book, from what I know about it, I believe it is a bit darker than the movie, and it's also more comic strip characters than it is Disney characters, obviously. I'm going to have to say no, just based on the validity of I'm not so sure that that's a kid's book, and this movie isn't entirely kid-friendly.
Granted, I looked it up, and it counted as a children's book, so that's why I put it on my list, but...
Yeah, it's a good movie. I just don't know if it's entirely kid-friendly. There's a lot of stuff in there that really isn't for kids. I mean, I understand the animation aspect of it all, but just looking at it from that perspective, I think there are other things we could put on this list in place of it. But it is a really, really good movie.
All right. First of all, Zach, any insight as to how much of a kid's book this movie is? I mean, this book is.
Well, I found out, yeah, they changed it a lot from book to movie. I found out as much. Otherwise, there is just like murder mentioned 20 times in the summary, and hostages, and just the general character of Jessica Rabbit as a thing. I think takes it away from being a little bit of a what we would say a children's book, maybe a like young adult book, but yeah.
Murder, sexy cartoons, for kids.
I mean, that's what
yeah.
I got 5, but my parents had to do too much.
To be fair, it's what the 70s, and parents didn't know things back then. But yeah, I think I would have said no, just because I question the validity of Roger Rabbit being based on a kid's book. I don't think it's a kid's book. Based on a book, it's a different story. But based on a kid's book, now Roger Rabbit does not qualify. And back to my good old co-host Zach.
I'm really happy that you just caught on and let this be a thing.
Yeah, this is whatever, man. You're so appointed co-host. Why the hell not?
I'm putting this on my resume. It's the only thing to be proud of in my life. So my next was another one that this is my last one that I would consider still one of my top 20 movies of all time. It's probably the movie that I've seen the most over time. And probably the movie I've seen most different versions over time. I'm going to go with the original. It's a tale that's always just spoke to my adventurous heart. Always captured my imagination. That is Jungle Book, the original Jungle Book on Disney. Or not the original. The Disney Jungle Book from the 60s. I'm sure there's others. Now, Jungle Book, to me, has the best songs in the Disney catalog. Between I Want to Be Like You and Bare Necessities. It's just a perfect example of the 60s Disney musical. And it also just has a sense of adventure that has captured kids' imagination through multiple generations. Kids still know those songs, and kids still are willing to see any other interpretation of this tale in this movie as it comes out. And there's just great characters throughout it. Baloo I wish was my godfather or my uncle or just my bud. I'll get a beer with Baloo any day. But Bagheera, I always had a great fascination with like the trustworthy animals, and I just loved Bagheera. And if my parents died in a car crash or in a jungle, I wish Bagheera would take care of me. So Jungle Book is my choice.
All right. So 1967's Jungle Book, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 67. 67 Jungle Book is on the table, and this is a movie I did watch a lot as a kid. Also, I do. There's like I like songs like Blue, King Louie was really fun and interesting, even though it was really weird and out of place. I'm gonna say no, just because I know it's gonna sound bizarre, but I think the new one did it better. They fixed a lot. Like you go back and you watch that, I think there's some things that just don't hold up about the movie as a movie in general, and I think the remake kind of fixed a lot of those things. I think it fixed problems a lot of people had with the original Jungle Book. So I'm gonna say no to the Jungle Book. Sorry, Zach. I'm gonna go to Hunter. Next, Hunter. Jungle Book. Doesn't make the list.
This one's hard because I did grow up with it and I used to watch it all the time. But I'm gonna agree with Chance. I like the 2016, I believe, remake a little bit more. And not to say that the 1960s animated one was not great. It was really good. But as Chance said, I think the remake fixed a lot of mistakes.
All right. I'm going to go to Aaron. Next, Aaron.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to have to say no for the same reasons. I think it kind of came out in an era where Disney animated films were in a little bit of a lull, and it is a good movie.
The best era.
I don't know. It's a good movie, but it does have issues, and I think the remake did the same type of story, but it did it better. So if it was the remake being thrown up, I would definitely put it on there, but in terms of the original, no, I wouldn't put it on there.
All right. So Jungle Book does not make the list. Dan, what would you have said?
I actually would have. It was way down on my list, but the way Zach brought it up and how it meant so much to him, and I'm right there with him. I'm older than Zach, but you know what? After listening to what Zach said, he convinced me I was going to put it on the list. If it was me, I would have put it on the list. Sorry,
You've
Zach.
never agreed so much. I feel close to you today, Dan.
Yeah, man. You got a good nostalgic when it comes to certain things like this. I noticed that you really have kind of a nostalgia feel to a lot of these type of things, and you and I are similar. You're younger than me, but we have a kind of a kismet spirit when it comes to some stuff like this.
Yeah, and I will agree with you guys. I think the new Jungle Book is more cohesive narratively than the animated one, but it's that looseness and a greater sense of joy that I think just speaks to who I am a little more. I like a little bit of rambling in my movies, just like Winnie the Pooh has as well.
What's that? That chord like rambling and stuff.
I like
All right.
life to go where it goes.
All right, so we are back to me once again. And next nomination, I think you got to look to one of, if not the most successful movie franchise based on a children's property in book form. That's Harry Potter. I think you got to get at least one Harry Potter on the list. The question becomes, at that point, which one?
Hard.
And I am throwing up Harry Potter and The Prisoner of Azkaban. Prisoner of Azkaban, I think, that was the one that fundamentally changed what the Harry Potter movie franchise was about. The one became dark, became more adult-ish because it knew it had to grow with the children who read the book and were watching the movie. It's probably the best directed because it had Alfonso Cuarón at the helm, who won the 3 Amigos of Cinema, is a phenomenal fucking director. And I do think that as like a Harry Potter movies go, this one probably stands alone the most, tells the most like singular story. And I think because of that, that's what makes it the strongest movie. It doesn't hinge on what happened before. It doesn't hinge on what's going to happen in the future. I think it's a good standalone story, and I do think it's the best that Harry Potter can be. So Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban is my next choice. I'm going to go to Dan first because your vote didn't count. Harry Potter.
I'll tell you what, Chance. You know what? I don't want to do this to you. I really don't want to do this to you because I absolutely love Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban for all the reasons you said and more. I just think it's the first great Harry Potter movie based on the book.
The first two were great, but this one I think transcends.
No, they're great. They're great. But in Prisoner of Azkaban is my favorite of the books until 6. But I argue that at that point in the series, it kind of has this dark tones to it, and it's not for children. And if you would have chosen Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, I would have been right on board with you, and I would have said, absolutely 100% on the list. But this film, I feel like in this book, even though characters were 13, they look older than 13 to me in the movie, but whatever. I mean, I'm going to say no for Prisoner of Azkaban because
I don't like how well you do that.
I just don't think it's a children's book. By that point, I don't think those books were for children. I think they were for young adults and adults. And if you would have said Sorcerer's Stone, I would have been like, yes, absolutely on the list. But unfortunately, I'm going to say no, Chance.
I will counter your point, sir. I remember when they aired that movie on the Disney Channel. That was before they started opening movies like Skulls and Crossbones and Graveyards. At that point, a Goblet of Fire, that's Harry Potter's not being for kids. But Prisoner of Azkaban, that's still fun. That's still kids.
Sirius Black, Professor Lupin. I mean, it's some
it's really good for 12 and 13-year-olds, and we can count them as kids.
What kid doesn't love Gary Oldman? All right, Zach, go ahead.
Sure.
So I'm a diehard HP fan. I'm a puffer for life. Puffers. I can go get my scarf. I bet you G-Wig is also a puffer.
No, G-Wig's a Ravenclaw. G-Wig's a Ravenclaw.
Yeah, I know her better. Okay, so I was going to say yes to 4 Harry Potter movies if any of those were said. There's other 4 that I would have said no to. You picked one of the right selections. It's my 4th choice. I think actually Sorcerers and Chamber of Secrets is the best visualization of the tone that Rowling was going for. I think creating the Harry Potter world, I really think Columbus had the best touch for that, especially with where those books were in those first 2 editions. I love Sorcerer's Stone. That is my favorite Harry Potter movie. And then I also really like the last one was about Deathly Hallows Part 2, just as a pure action movie. But Prisoner of Azkaban is the most a tourist. I need to practice my pronunciations. A tourist of the Harry Potter movies. So I will give this a yes. I think it works well with enough of the preteen age that it counts. Yes.
All right. I'm going to go to Aaron next. Aaron.
Yes. I'm giving it a yes. I think this is the last book where I think it qualifies as a kid's series. I think once it hits Goblet of Fire, it's officially moved on to young adults. But I read this book in the 5th grade, and it was promoted to me as a kid's book at the time, so I think it still counts. I think it's in terms of quality, I think it's the best made of the franchise. It's in my top 3 at least. Where it would be in that top 3, I'd have to think about a little more, but it's easily one of the best films in the franchise. It's one of the best young adult movies and kids movies ever made. It's overall just a brilliant movie and a great kind of movie to put yourself on the map for Alfonso Cuarón.
Well, first and foremost, I am on a roll tonight, and second of all, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban makes top 7. Hunter, your vote didn't count. What would you say? Yeah, we're at 6. Hunter, what would you say?
Oh, it was my number 1 on my list. I absolutely love this movie. One of my favorites of the Harry Potter series. Yeah, I would have said hell yes.
All right. So we are going back to Dan. Next, Dan.
Yeah, and I just want to say, guys, I love this film. I'm a huge Gary
Semantics
fan. I love David Thewlis. I mean, some of the characters that had been really waiting for to get on screen finally got on screen in Prisoner. And Alfonso Cuarón, I mean, the guy's an amazing director. So I just thought I would have rather had Sorcerer's Stone. That's all I'm saying. So I don't think I'm knocking it, because I'm not. All right. So I just want to get that out there. I'm going. A buddy of mine told me something a while ago, and I didn't think I was going to get to this choice. And because of some of the nice choices by the panel here, we were able to get to me again, so I could make this choice. And I when I was a kid, I freaking loved this movie. I wanted a dog that looked like this character in this movie, Falcor, and I think this is one of the most amazing movies based off a book ever, The Never-Ending Story. So I'm going for Never-Ending Story. I think it's an amazing movie, and I loved this movie as a kid, and it made for a book. I mean, I loved reading the book, and it made for a great movie. And the stop motion animation and the different things they did with it are seamless. I think they did a great job with it. But I'm not going to blabber on anymore.
All right, so sing with me, folks. Never Ending Story is up at top 7. That's not the words of the song. I'm just making up as I go along. Hunter, Never Ending Story doesn't make top 7.
Disappointed. I've never seen it.
Yep, no shit. We're moving on.
So I grew up in the kind of household where my parents weren't slipping drugs in my juice and milk, so it never fully made sense to me. It was just I was like 5 and probably shouted, "This is an acid trip." I didn't even know what acid was, but I can identify this as an acid trip.
Okay, now I understand.
So I'm a no.
Okay, fine. First of all, we got great insight to Zach Ford's home life growing up. He was not drugged as a child, as I was, but that's no
As far as I know.
As far as he knows. As far as he knows. And we're going to Aaron next. Aaron, Never Ending Story. Does it make top 7?
Yes, it does. It's an amazing movie based on a really interesting book. But overall, it's a really well-made film. I had nothing more to say on it. Yeah, it makes the list.
Okay. So we're up to me.
Chance.
Chances.
Oh boy.
Think of the list to come. Just think of the list to come, Chance.
Yeah, that's the problem. I
doing
love
this.
Never Ending Story. I saw it when I was a kid, and yeah, I loved it. I knew like kind of like Zach. I'm like, I don't know what it feels like to be on drugs, but this must be what it's like to be on drugs. It's a weird movie. It's like strange. And it's also like it has like a really endearing quality about that when Artax, when he drowned in the swamp of sadness, man, the kid tears are flowing, man. But that being said, I do think there are other spots more worthy of those. This was top 10. I think Never Ending Story would make it, no question. But just like with Fantasy Mr. Fox, I think there are more deserving movies of the spot on the list. So I gotta give, much as I love Never Ending Story, and I'm sorry, Jeremy, who's gonna be yelling at me about this later on, I gotta give this a no. So Never Ending Story does not make top 7. Dan is not happy about that. I know neither is Jeremy Adams. And we are gonna move on to Aaron next. Aaron.
Okay, just because all of my choices have been rejected so far this video, I'm going to go ahead and pitch an interesting one that I have a personal opinion on. That's probably not going to make the list, but fuck
It's going to be Mrs. Popper's Penguins.
Is that it?
You wish I had seen that movie.
You wish I saw that movie. Yes, we do.
I'm gonna pitch the 1996 adaptation of The Hunchback of Notre Dame by Disney. I think this is a really, really interesting movie. It came out during the Disney Renaissance. It's at times a lot darker than a lot of Disney films and a lot of what they're doing at the time and a lot of what they've done before and what they've done since. They really haven't touched on themes like what this movie presents. I think what throws a lot of people off of it is the fact that it does suffer from a bit of a conflicting tone because of the forced in gargoyle stuff, because it is a Disney movie and they had a mandate to meet. But I think if you look at the dark story and the dark tones they were trying to sell and portray in this movie, I think it is one of the best animated films that Disney has made.
All right. So the Hunchback of Notre Dame is up on the list. Funny story. I've actually been to Notre Dame. It's very nice. I actually got a few roses from there. But on this film, I do think it's a forgotten Disney classic. Like, it's got a lot of interesting songs. It's animated very nicely. I think what was his name? Judge Claude Frollo. He's like such a great villain, but mostly because he got Tony Jay, who has one of the greatest voices to ever walk the earth, is doing the voice. That being said, I gotta say no. I do love the movie. I think more people need to see it. I actually do have another. If it gets back to me, there's another Disney movie that I want to try to get on the list. So, yeah, it's a no for me. I'm gonna go to Hunter next. Hunter, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Disney version.
Haven't seen it.
I have seen this movie.
Oh.
Okay.
I've seen it. I'm gonna say no, just because I don't count the Hunchback of Notre Dame as a children's book per se.
Yeah, it's also really dark and really the book itself is
It's
like
a
really
classic
dark
literature.
I guess I was thinking more about the movie. Yeah, maybe you're right.
It is very dark, very twisted. Brother Grimm tale goes really dark. So that's the only reason why I'm gonna say no. It's just I don't see it as a children's novel.
That's fair. I did the same thing earlier.
Prostitutes, deformities, and dying in the arms of your love.
Wait, you guys didn't have that in your childhood?
You? I mean, I did, but
Yes.
you know the rest of you two probably did not.
Universal. Maybe we all did, but we got to think universal.
What do you think I'm not doing when I'm not in school and I'm not doing this? What do you think I'm doing, man?
Ringing bell towers in France. Take me to France, Aaron. Zach comes back in Notre Dame.
So I'm sure that like I probably went through a period after watching this movie as a child where I was probably encouraged to be a bully. Like this movie should not encourage someone to be a bully because this guy is so boring. Of course you should make fun of the Hunchback. This guy had no charisma to him at all. The whole movie is a sleeper. Too bad that I wasn't cool enough to be a bully in the first place, and I probably was closer to the Hunchback than anything else.
It's not threatening.
For this to be picked over Jungle Book would have made me just immediately shut off my screen and then cry for the next 6 days, which gives me some days off work. So I am a no on the Hunchback.
It's okay.
Well, would you cry as hard as you did when Lady Bird didn't win any Oscars this year?
I still have belief that Lady Bird 2 is gonna win all the Oscars.
Lady Bird 2. Hopefully
That was a movie
the same year
that
as By Your Name 2.
That shit.
Hopefully it comes out the same year as Call Me By Your Name 2. But in any case, Hunchback of Notre Dame, based on the very kid-friendly Hunchback of Notre Dame book, does not make top 7. Dan, what would you have said?
Is it to me?
Dan. Yes, you did.
Oh, okay, because you were breaking up there. Yeah, I would have not voted it on the list because I'll be honest, the better version of the Hunchback of Notre Dame is Lon Chaney's version that was out in the 1920s or 40s or whenever it was out. That version is phenomenal in my eyes. Lon Chaney is just a genius. And yes, I love the animated version, don't get me wrong, but yeah, I definitely wouldn't have voted it on this list.
All right, so I believe it takes us back to Hunter. Hunter, top 7, your pick. Go. Buddy.
Okay. This one is one that again I saw growing up and still watch it today. It's more popular today because it does have a sequel-ish, but I'm going with the original Jumanji with Robin Williams. As a kid, it was so fun. It was energetic. It was such a good movie, and Robin Williams put on a great performance. You know, it actually had decent kid actors, which was still very hard to do today. And I just think for pure imagination, pure fun, you can't go wrong with Jumanji with Robin Williams.
Jumanji is on the table. Dan, is it Welcome to the Jungle or is it No Way, Jose?
Who me?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, I hate to do this to you, Hunter, because I love the movie. I love the reboot. I love both of them, and I love Robin Williams, The Rock. I just don't think of Jumanji as the children's book made into a movie, and so for me, it definitely would not be on this list. And it doesn't mean I don't like the movie because I love it. I think it's a fantastic movie.
All right, we're going back to Aaron next. Aaron, does Jumanji make top 7?
I'm going to say no just because I think it's an okay movie held up on the shoulders of a great Robin Williams performance, and I think it was outdone by Welcome to the Jungle. So I'm going to say no.
I disagree.
Yeah, I'm going next, and I actually agree with Aaron. I do think as a movie, Welcome to the Jungle is way better than the original Jumanji. I'm going to get hate for that, but I think the sequel is actually better than the original. So, yeah, that's a no, and Jumanji does not make top 7.
God damn it.
Zach, what would you say?
So this is gonna segue perfectly into my pick. So because you were so close. Jumanji is kind of chaotic if you watch it on the rewatch. It's really fun as a kid. I think it works almost purely as a kid's movie. So I would have been a no, especially because I just really wanted to get to my next pick. Another one that you might not have realized was a kid's book. It was definitely aimed more around like the 11, 12-year-old age, but that preteen age is still
So it's like Hunchback.
Kids age book, and that is a different Robin Williams movie around the same era and a better one, and one I watched a ton as a child, so it works great for children, is Mrs. Doubtfire.
Okay. Was that based on a kid's book?
Mrs. Doubtfire was a book written in 1987.
Yeah, it's based on a book.
Yeah,
Doubtfire is based on a book.
I did not know that. Okay, qualifies.
Just because book we haven't read doesn't mean it's not based on a book, and maybe that's a good sign, is that we're not giving enough credit for movies that have been more memorable than the books themselves. That's a sign of a good movie that's able to advance past the material. But Robin Williams, right alongside Gene Wilder, we're going through two of the best comedic actors of all time. Robin Williams is even one of the best dramatic actors, and I think that's what elevated his comedy so much more. And that's what elevates Mrs. Doubtfire so strongly, because it works in an emotional level that helps make the comedy also resonate. And the emotions of it function really well as a kid when you're going, like myself and many other kids, going through divorce and helping understand that. And as you get older, as a parent that may have to make these decisions, or a role model for kids and how to make these decisions, it functions on a variety of levels. I think Mrs. Doubtfire belongs on our list.
All right. Mrs. Doubtfire is on the table. I'm going to go to Hunter first. Hunter, Mrs. Doubtfire, does it make top 7?
Ooh. This is very hard because I do enjoy that movie.
You do have to go to bed at some point, Hunter.
Yeah, please. I'm up in like 5 hours.
You know what? Screw it. I'm going to say yes.
We're going to Dan next. Dan.
No. Next.
All right. Short and sweet. Aaron.
Come on, Aaron.
I really, really enjoy this movie. I'm gonna say yes.
All right. So that's
I love the movie too. Who doesn't love Mrs. Doubtfire? It's the runaway fruiting. I love the freaking movie, but it's not a children's book. It's not based on a children's book.
Just because you don't know it.
Okay, semantics aside, Mrs. Doubtfire makes the list, which means my pick next, which I'm sure was going to get on the list, doesn't matter. So that's it. We have our top 7. Yeah. So we now go to honorable mentions. Honorable mentions for me, I have my next pick was going to be Mary Poppins, which I pretty sure would have made it. Anything else?
Dan's not happy.
The original Disney Alice in Wonderland, I think, is pretty fucking solid. And Dumbo, and also the Incredible Journey. The Incredible Journey. Homeward Bound. The Incredible Journey. So Zach, anything else you want to throw out before we keep going?
My Disney picks would have been Peter Pan and Pinocchio. Hugo is a brilliant movie, and another book written by the same writer, Brian Selznick, is Wonderstruck, that came out this year, which is a very artfully done children's movie. Also, Howl's Moving Castle, Coraline, and I have deep, deep love for the Curious George movie, the original one, and probably the only person that had BFG as their number 2 movie of last year. BFG is a beautiful movie that probably connects to my Raw Doll love even more. So,
Zach, you had that movie. Zach, your ranking is higher than the amount of people in my theater. I was the only person who saw that movie.
Hunter, any other any other honorable mentions you want to throw out before we keep going?
Who, me?
Hunter.
Me?
Hunter.
Okay. I have a few. Bridge to Terabithia would be one. Coraline. Coraline. Holes, which I thought Holes was incredible.
Oh, go dig in those holes.
The Iron Giant.
You got to go dig those holes.
The Iron Giant was the other one I had on my list, and that's about it.
All right. Dan, anything else you want to throw out before we keep going?
Mary Poppins.
That's
Charlotte's
boring.
Web.
Does he have all the Blu-rays?
Bithia.
Oh,
I love
that's
that
good.
movie.
Hole.
Not
No,
that
not that
version,
one.
though, right?
Not that one.
The Hobbit. The Polar
You brought it up. You know what, Dan, you're done. You're done. Okay, you brought up Tim Burns' Alice in Wonderland. Ergo, you are done. I'm
To be
going to
fair,
Aaron.
I would have said no to all of
It's
those.
just the only one I happen to have. It's
You
not.
would have said no to Mary Poppins.
Yeah, it's boring. I just argued on
What?
movie background about. Thanks for watching the
I-
match, asshole.
I agree with him. Yeah, I agree with him. Yeah.
All right.
It just happened to be the only
Aaron.
one I had on my shelf, so I could. When someone
Yeah,
said,
hold up. Zach did argue that on Movie Battleground. Thanks for watching the match, asshole.
but remember, guys, you could have had this beauty on the list, and you chose Mrs. Doubtfire instead.
It's not a good movie.
All right,
I'm
Aaron,
okay
before
with
we
that.
go-
Robin Williams with
Before we
tits
keep going,
works.
anything else? Anything else you want to throw out before we keep going?
Who, me?
Yes, you, Aaron.
The only other movie I had that I didn't bring up was Shrek, which probably would have been rejected, so it's okay.
Shrek was based on a book.
Yeah.
Shrek is
Yes, it
based
is.
on a
Shrek
children's
is
book.
based
Yes,
on
it
a
is.
book. Second of all, Zach, I was watching Movie Battleground, then I had to go do my Movie Battleground, which we publish on World of Movie Games at a later date. So that's why I didn't get to that point in the match. But anyways,
Don't give it.
we have our top seven. Our top seven are The Wizard of Oz, The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, Where the Wild Things Are, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, and Mrs. Doubtfire. All right, now here comes the hard part. We have to.
What are they?
Oh, sorry. Chronicles, Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Willy Wonka, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, Where the Wild Things Are, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, and Mrs. Doubtfire. All right, now here's the hard part. We have to now cut two of these picks, as here's the elimination process. We have to cut two to get our top five. And, well, I usually never do go first, but I think it's an easy cut this time. Oh, God. Actually, you know what? It's not an easy cut. I'm gonna throw it to someone else. I'm gonna throw it to someone who's rightfully pissed. Well, not rightfully, but he's pissed. I'm gonna go to Dan. Dan, what movie do you want to nominate to kick off top seven?
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Okay. All right. Hunter.
You put the Hobbit
Mrs.
up.
Doubtfire. There does it go.
I'm gonna vote Where the Wild Things Are.
Oh no.
Wait,
So
what?
yes-
No, that's not how this works.
Oh, sorry.
Mrs. Doubtfire. You got the show. Does it stay or does it go?
He was-
Mrs. Doubtfire, I feel it should stay, so I'm gonna say no, it stays.
Okay, so it does not get cut. I'm going to me next. I say, looking at these roster movies, Mrs. Doubtfire is the easiest cut. And I say, get it out of here. I'm going to go to the person who nominated it, Zach. Zach,
I mean,
Mrs. Doubtfire.
I know it's my
Days ago.
and I kind of want to say yes because I'm worried about other things that are going to get cut. And so I'll cut it because there's just
All right.
I can't risk on some of these breaking my heart.
All right. Mrs.
Now the
Doubtfire gets
cards.
list. Aaron, what would you have said?
Yeah, out of these, it's probably the weakest. Well, okay. Yeah, probably would have cut it.
All
There you go,
right.
Dan. You're
And I'm going to let you pick the next movie to cut. Aaron, what do you want to take off top seven?
Okay, I'm not going to pick the hard fight just yet because I can respect Wizard of Oz being on the top 5, so I'm going to go with Where the Wild Things Are.
Okay, I'm going to go to Zach first. Zach, Where the Wild Things Are. Does it stay or does it go?
This is the what I was worried about, and I mean I'm a no, it stays, and all you are assholes for having no heart and no soul.
Okay,
It's okay.
well,
This is previously established.
precedence. All right, Dan, Where the Wild Things Are. Does it stay or does it go?
Oh, are you kidding me? This does not go. This stays. This is a phenomenal movie and a phenomenal book. I read it a bunch of times when I was a kid.
All right, Hunter. I know where he's going. Hunter,
Got it.
All right.
cut it. All right.
Come on, Chance. Be
We're
smart
back to
here.
me. It's down to two. If it's not this one, I think it's gonna be another one that gets cut instead. And it's very obvious which one the other one is, and it's between those two for me. There's one that I enjoy more, And it's not where the wild things are. So I'm sorry, Zach, Dan, cut it. It's out. It's gone. It's out of here. All right.
I think there's an obvious one. Damn it.
I mean, there's an obvious one that was going to get cut instead. If I said yes, there was going to be another one that's going to be a super easy cut. But either way, we are now at the rankings period. So what we're going to do is we're each going to go around. The spot is going to be up for voting. We're each going to write down what movie we feel deserves to go in that spot. So we're going to go 5, 4, 3, and then the number 1 movie on the list. So, gentlemen, if you all write down what you believe goes in the number 5 spot. Cannot wait to see the reaction from people when they see this episode.
Yeah, the fact that what I have as my number 5 made it ahead of a lot of these classics. Yeah. All
right. I think everyone's about ready, so we're going to go. I'm going to start. I have Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, but I just wrote Narnia because it's easier to write. I'm going to go to Zach next, unless he has any fun pictures he wants to draw. And
That's fine.
No, he does not.
Witch. Wardrobe.
Okay, he already has the fun pictures. So, Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, that's 2 votes. Hunter.
I had the mini adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
You shut your mouth.
Yeah.
We're going to go to Dan.
Actually, I agree with Hunter. The many adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
Okay, you know what? First of all, I have 2 people who are probably very soon to be banned from the show.
This is one of the co-hosts.
Aaron next, Aaron. Aaron, what did you say?
Come on, Aaron.
Did you say either of these movies?
No, I was gonna say because. Okay, well I'll play my cards. Number 5 is Wizard of Oz for me. Again, it's personal opinion.
Okay, but since you did the outline, change your vote now.
Should I change
Winnie the Pooh or Wizard of Oz?
Between Winnie the Pooh and Narnia?
Yeah, Winnie the Pooh and Narnia.
I'd knock Narnia into 5.
All right, Chronicles of Narnia makes the number 5 spot.
Aaron's still out on the show.
He's still out on the show. All right,
Thank
so
you,
if you all write down, we'll go to the number 4 spot on the list.
I forgot.
You know, Zach, since you like to draw fun pictures, I'm just going to keep going to you last. So I'm going to go to Aaron first. Aaron, what should go? And then I have a feeling I know what you're saying, but
Wizard of Oz.
That's what I thought. And Dan.
At the bottom of all this other stuff, you see that it says Wizard of Oz.
Wait, what? Wizard of Oz number 4?
Changing their picks too. What's with everyone changing their picks?
All right, Hunter.
The mini adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
See, that's a true sport. All right, I have Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. And we're going to go to Zach. What did you say?
Me and Chance are on the same page. Hufflepuff for life. This is the Badger.
All right, so now Hunter has to change his votes. Is it Harry Potter?
Between what?
Is it Wizard of Oz or is it Harry Potter?
Specifically,
I'll go Wizard of Oz for 4.
Oof.
Oh!
Oof.
Unprecedented. Wizard of Oz makes number 4 on the list. Hunter is an uncultured swine, but yeah, he's a deciding vote. That's what happens with Women Power.
I love Wizard of Oz.
How dare you put it at 4, sir? How dare you? All right, so number 3 on the list, gentlemen. We have fun, Hunter. It's mutual abuse.
I know.
No picture. I'm done.
All right. right. I'm pretty sure Zach's the same vote. Zach?
HP and the Prisoner of the Island of Alcatraz.
Wizard Alcatraz. I also have Harry Potter, the Prisoner of Azkaban. Also with my house, that is Slytherin. So I'm going to go to... I already know what Hunter's going to say.
Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Sticking with it.
Puns all over the place.
Dan.
At the bottom of all that writing, you see Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh.
I'm so puzzled by you, Dan. Either way. Aaron.
Nice. I had Willy Wonka, which means I'm changing my vote, apparently.
Yep, Harry Potter, Winnie the Pooh.
I gotta go with Harry Potter because in essence of kids' films, Winnie the Pooh is more of a kids' film than Harry Potter.
All right.
God damn it.
There we go.
And we now have to vote on the #1 kids movie. Or
I
number one
think
movie
this might
based on
be
children's
unanimous.
book. I'm pretty sure it will be too.
So, this is for #1, right?
Yes, this is for #1.
My board is just like blood smothered.
All right. Aaron.
I went Winnie the Pooh.
Really? Okay. Dan.
At the bottom of this screen, I got all these other nominees on here, 76543. But at the bottom, you see #1 right down there at the bottom. It says Willy Wonka.
All right. Hunter.
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
All right. And Zach.
I had a change of heart. I had Willy Wonka and Corporate Ed for Children, but I changed it to Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, shit. Okay. So it comes
Deep
down
down,
to...
that's why we go #1.
Damn it. Okay. Thank you, Zach, for doing this to me. All right. This was tough. This was really tough. But I think I have to go with this one. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. That is our #1 on the list, ladies and gentlemen. So just to recap for all you lovely people, we have #5, The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. #4, The Wizard of Oz. #3, Harry Potter, The Prisoner of Azkaban. #2, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. And the #1 movie based on a children's book of all time is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Good list. I find it weird how Wizard of Oz was #1 last week, but #4 this week, but whatever, it is what it is. But anyways, thank you for watching my panel. Of course, Aaron, and you got Dan, and of course, the guy who's seen, 62 movies his entire life, Hunter, and my co-host, Zach Ford. And of course, I'm your regular host, Chance Ellison, and I will see you next week for hopefully, I keep saying hopefully, less heated debate, but it always is, no matter what the topic is. So, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.